Okay. All right. Streamlabs really is messing up. What's up, guys? Happy middle of the week. So I got this notice on my screen saying that some about AWS, Amazon Web Services, are having some issues. So Streamlabs uses that, and it was like, we might have problems too. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit live, see what happens. So we live, but I guess some of the functions might not be as smooth. But happy Thursday, July 28, 2022. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. Had a good day yesterday. A little all-day baseball, so we didn't really do a stream. But today is the day, though. So we are out here. Nice little solid, 8 games tonight? Debut of a new New York Yankee in the leadoff spot. Oh, yeah. I'm happy about that. Shout out to J. Cole, Jermaine Cole, the Bird, Nerd, Brian, Robert Smith. Bird says, what are we doing with this crazy Coors game tonight? Well, unfortunately, we have to play it. Although, at least, like, the Dodgers aren't all 2K, right? So, like, that's a plus. Yeah, 5-5, 5-6. So, like, it's respectable to an extent. Obviously, Jake Lamb being free is an issue. But it could be worse. Wasn't it Urania last time I shut them down? Let me skip this out. What up, Demetrius? Hope you're doing all right. Dude, these songs are just not vibing today. There we go. A little something. What up, Moondos? Hope you're doing all right. So yeah, let's do weather, and then we'll do some updated lineups. I went ahead and put all the projected lineups last night, because I knew I was going to start the show a little bit later. But we got a lot of confirmed lineups out, so we'll do a little research. Weather: Miami at Cincinnati, warm, humid. Is that even a game on this slate? I think the Yankees is the first game on this slate. Yeah, Baltimore's already in play. Royals at New York. One broken line of storms coming early. Late start might be needed, but should be otherwise fine. All right, cool. Guardians at the Red Sox. Yellow, orange. A broken line of storms should be moving during the game, but weakening as it does so. I think they may end up just starting dry, finishing a bit wet. I need to look at radar pre-lock. Cool. Yellow-green. Dodgers at the Rockies. Heavy stuff look like it clears well before the game, with just some scattered showers lingering during the game time. Expect to play the game. I think they likely are able to do it. All right, cool. Thank you to Mr. Kevin Roth, rotogrinders.com/weather/MLB. We'll put a link to that in chat. You guys should always bookmark that. People are always like tweeting at me. It's like, hey, do you think this game plays? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not the weatherman. I'm just following what the big dog says. So there's that. All right, let's pop open the RunDFS.com MLB VIP spreadsheet. Let's go game by game. Start creating a list. And we'll start with the Royals at the Yankees. Confirmed lineups out for both teams. MJ Melendez leading off for the Royals. Little leadoff catcher. Lefty action in Yankee Stadium. That should profile well. Unfortunately, he's 5K on DraftKings. Merrifield 2-spot. Vinny Pasquantino. Hunter Dozier. Ryan O'Hearn in the 5-hole. Michael A. Taylor in the 6th spot. Nick Prado. Michael Garcia, there's a name. Kyle Isbell. And we'll put a green light on that. And the New York Yankees leading off. Andrew Benintendi. Let's go. Judging the 2 spot. Anthony Rizzo. Gleyber Torres. Aaron Hicks. Josh Donaldson. Moving on down in the lineup. Joey Gallo. That's not awkward. Marwin Gonzalez. And Jose Trevino. Man, Gallo's got to share a locker room and a lineup with his replacement. Cool. So, notable absences: DJ LeMahieu, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, not in that lineup either. But we do get quite a bit of lefties, and this is the most lefties the Yankees lineup has had since the Reagan administration. I've never seen something like this. This is almost a thing of beauty. Unfortunately, one of those lefties is Joey Gallo. Up against Brady Singer. Singer against lefties, 3.59 xFIP, 27% K rate. That's pretty good. 1.6 home run per 9, so that'll play really well in Yankee Stadium with a ground ball rate that rivals his fly ball rate. Hard contacts kind of up there with a 20% line drive rate. So his key here to success is going to be the strikeout rate, and that's really only going to come to play for Joey Gallo. Is Benintendi eligible for Yankees? Let me refresh that. I think I still had this tab open from last night. Sometimes they'll switch it in the middle of the day. That would be unfortunate if they did not, though. They did. All right, cool. Benintendi is eligible to be rostered as a Yankee today. All right, so obviously we're going to be on the Yankee stacks. Against righties, Brady Singer pretty solid as well. 3 xFIP, under 1 home run per 9. Ground ball rate's elite, 56%. So 8K Brady Singer is probably like not something I want to get to, but I would not be stunned if he has an okay game or holds the Yankees down. But this Yankees team in Yankee Stadium, I'm just looking for a little get right spot. So we're always stacking the Yankees. Let's get the player pool tab up. Let's put Yankees in the mix. Jameson Taillon, he's had a rough go of it. Really, all the Yankee starters, maybe outside of Cole, have been on a dog day of summer skid. 4.04 expected ERA, sub 20% K rate, and the swinging strike rate under 10% as well. So those are metrics I usually don't get too excited about. There are some strikeouts to be had in this Royals lineup. Outside of Merrifield and Pescatino, the entire team has a over 24% K rate. So that's the type of stuff that maybe you could steal some strikeouts. And then they're 91 WRC plus on the season against righties. I feel like a lot of that is credited to Benintendi. So for that to not be in the mix as well. I think there's $8,600 life in Jameson Taillon. And Brady Singer for that matter, but I'm way less scared of Taillon giving up 6 than I am Brady Singer. So early on, I'll go ahead and nominate both of these guys as lowly tier 3 exposed guys. And I'm going to do some research on Michael Garcia because I don't know who he is and I have no info in my spreadsheet. And maybe he's not bad, and maybe he's got some sneakiness. Nope, 780 OPS, 291 average, 27 stolen bases. So looks like a little speedster, more contact than not. Probably not going to get a ton of power. Let's go split that up against righties. Am I blind? There it is. 282 average against righties, 333 against lefties, and you might see some lefties out the pen. Although Lucas Licky pitched yesterday, so maybe not. I guess Chapman could come out. 3 bombs against righties in the minors, 266 at bats. Does it say 51? Oh, there's strikeouts. I was like, no way. All right, so he's just a average 2K guy. Cool. Stack wise, we'll go Yankees, and we'll also probably get a little bit of Royals, but I'm talking maybe like 4% right now, just because I think there's a world where Melendez, Merrifield, Pescatino all could play here. Melendez could take advantage of the short porch. He's not used to that out there in Kaufman. Merrifield, usually a cool little 5-tool player with some stolen base potential. Pescatino has more power than the season metrics suggest. And then the rest of this lineup is kind of hard to get there, so maybe it'd be a more of a substack target for me. And then all of the Yankees are in play. Maybe there's pressure on Joey Gallo to not suck, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. What up, Conscious? How you doing? I hope you're doing all right. By the way, if the music's too loud, let me know. I feel like it's at an okay spot. But Phillies at the Pirates. Next game on the docket. Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, Alec Bohm is batting third here for them. Derek Hall in the cleanup spot. Castellanos all the way down to the 5-hole. Bryson Stott batting 6th. Didi Gregorius, Matt Verling, Garrett Stubbs, former Rocky, I want to say. Don't quote me. Pirates, Kevin Newman, O'Neal Cruz, Ke'Bryan Hayes, Ben Gamel, former Yankee great Benjamin Gamel. Clyde Madrid, Greg Allen. I think Greg Allen played for the Yankees too. Calvin Mitchell, Josh Van Meter, Tyler Heineman. And that lineup's confirmed. Zach Wheeler on the season, 26.7% K rate, 104 on the whip, 286 expected ERA. This is a Pirates team outside of Kevin Newman and Tyler Heineman have an aggregate 25+% K rate. So it's going to be a pretty strong spot for him at PNC Park, one of the better parks for pitchers in general. We'll say it's less great for offense. It's actually below average in strikeouts, but it's below average in everything. I think a lot of these smaller parks with lower foul ground territory tend to give you less strikeout potential, since there's more foul ground territory tend to give you less strikeout potential since more pop-ups become like first baseman caught. Oakland is a big notorious stadium for that. But matchup wise, Zach Wheeler is looking like a potential SP1 of the day. Let's see what we might get on a pitch count. Last couple games, 106 on the 23rd, 90, 90, 108. So yeah, should have plenty of bullets in the chamber, and it's a high upside matchup for his sake. Big ground ball numbers, 48% ground ball rate to righties. Not as high against lefties, and this is a big lefty lineup, but the strikeout rate remains similar, 26.7% K rate. Keeping the ball in the park for the most part. Line drive rates more than what you would want it, but still, he's been thriving. He's been living here, and this is not a high-powered team. Only O'Neal Cruz has an above 154 ISO against righties since the beginning of last year. So Zach Wheeler just has to be one of the top pitching targets of the day. Looking at PrizePicks, I'll refresh that board while we're there. Looks like they got him at 6.5 Ks, which I'm cool with. What are the outs at? 19.5 pitching outs. Also 5 hits at 5. 19.5 pitching outs. I really don't like getting more than 18 and having to sweat it. But 6.5 Ks, I think that's live. So maybe that's something we jot down early on for our notes. But we'll see. Let's see. 6, 4, 5. He really hasn't eclipsed that. But the Toronto and St. Louis scrappy. Chicago strikes out a bit more. He didn't get a strikeout per inning. But the percentage, the numbers are there. What was the deal with those games? Let's pull up his card. Just looking for a couple prop bets to jot down, Heard your boy Trout out for the year. Is he out for the year? I didn't hear that. I heard he has a degenerative back disease that is very rare, so that's just kind of weird to take a victory lap on. But I didn't hear that he was out for the year. What up, Earth to Air? 11%. So his swing and strike rate was still in the double digits the last couple games. Just wasn't putting him down for Ks here. A new challenger. What a weird name song. So I might be looking at that 6.5 K, but I also just might look for like 1.5 strikeouts. As a matter of fact, did they give us the first 2 innings? MLB Live. Wheeler, 2.5 strikeouts for innings 1 and 2. So we would need 3 strikeouts. Now I'd rather just sweat the 6 at that point. Probably. Does Underdog give us a better? Like, do we get just 6 over here? No, 6.5. Fudge. All right, that's fine. Like, I'm okay with that, but that wouldn't be a core, right? I would attach that to something. So we'll just put question mark. 6.5 K question mark? Huh? What was his fantasy points? Was it like 40, 43? God dang. Yeah, we're getting taxed on him, so let's not get too caught up in him. But he is going to be a tier 1 pitcher for me today. On the bump for the Pirates, Zach Thompson, 1.4 whip, 5.29 expected ERA, and just a 15% K rate so far this season. 75 innings of sample size, 1.7 home run per night to righties so far. Now that's kind of a peculiar end result because he's got a batted ball data doesn't really suggest he should be a big home run guy. 53% ground ball rate, 33% hard contact rate. Those two numbers alone, like, I wouldn't expect that to be a 1.5 home run per nine guy, much less 1.7. And then, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. His home run to fly ball rate must just be stupid. Celebrating injuries. It's not even. It's like, so. Yes, it is an injury, but it's like it's something he's gonna have to deal with for the rest of his life. It's not like I don't know. It's like, I don't know if it's like genetic or whatever, but it said it's a super rare disorder. So this is weird to victory lap that. But I also, like, he could be done for the year, but I didn't see that. It's a 17% home run to fly ball rate. That's insane. With a 13% infield fly ball rate. Yeah, so I would probably call for some regression on these home run numbers. But in the meantime, like, he's still allowing people to put the ball in play with such a low strikeout rate and sub 10% swing and strike rate. So maybe we can have both, right? We can still have a good matchup, but we could also kind of call for regression here. Yeah, if you're gonna dare Kyle Schwarber to put the ball in play, I'm gonna play Kyle Schwarber. I'm also gonna play Rhys Hoskins. This is a really solid spot for everyone. Derek Hall and Kyle Schwarber have pretty decent numbers in the bomb detector, and even though it is a pitcher-friendly park, I think we have to nominate the Phillies to be involved here. So Schwarber on the road against a contact pitcher. Mr. PrizePicks, what do we got? 7.5 fantasy points or 1.5 TB. Also, you can get them in the home run triangle with 3 of my favorite Phillies here. So I do be liking that. So let's do some typing here. I like Kyle Schwarber over 7.5 FPS. We'll go 1.5 TB as well. Also in home run triangle, if... Alright, cool. I'm cool with that. And then Zach Thompson, do we get like a hits allowed prop on him? Zachary. 3.5 Ks, good lord. 5.5 hits, I'm not going to sweat that. Maybe we could sweat the under fantasy, but I'm not going to force plays here, you know? Didn't David Wright have something kind of strange back into the end of it? Yeah, that might be. David Wright did have something. I don't know. I'm not familiar if it was like a diagnosed condition, but he certainly had a major back issue. Aaron only shows up when Trout does like nothing or when he's hurt. Aaron wasn't here during the week. Trout had like 4 homers in 7 days, and I don't know. But this is way too taboo of a debate now. It's just not fun if he's actually hurt. Yeah, I would probably ask that we don't divulge in such a shady debate. Mike Trout is still a healthy Mike Trout, still a top 10 player in baseball, and even an unhealthy Mike Trout is still like a top 10 player in baseball. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Am I really gonna... Let's look at WAR this season. So Mike Trout is 14th in WAR, playing what, 16 games less to 17 games less than Aaron Judge. He's still 14th in WAR. Let that sink in. And you take that out from NL American League. Like, I don't understand why you're so happy. Tigers at the Blue Jays. Do we have any surprise Tigers that are not vaccinated here? Looking like a normal lineup. I guess, I don't know, is Torkelson injured or something? I feel like I haven't typed his name in a little bit. Blue Jays lineup is out. Springer, Vladdy, Kirk, Bo Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel, Matt Chapman, Espinal, and Danny Jansen. Tigers have a 3.9 implied run total Blue Jays 5.9. Blue Jays are minus 230 on the money line. So we're always gonna stack Blue Jays without saying, right, in this spot. But let's talk about the Tigers. I mean, Tigers are kind of sneaky against lefties. 105 WRC plus, they're above average, just slugging almost 400 against lefties. And then look at all this green here. So, as an example, like this is batting average against lefties since the beginning of last year. If I flip that over to righties, that turns into a ton of red, and sometimes that green comes to play. We saw it against Sean Manaea, and we've just seen it in a couple spots this year. And this is Yusei Kikuchi, a 1.57 whip, a 6.26 ERA, a 16% barrel rate when you're putting the ball in play. Like, it's not the worst spot in the world for the Tigers, and you just feel like people like to pitch against the Tigers, and I get it. They suck on the whole as a season, but this is still scrappy numbers. So I will find myself, if I stacked against Sean Manaea, I have to stack against Yusei Kikuchi. Obviously, I'm not going to devote a ton of equity to it, but it's only an 8-game slate. Like, there's really not a reason for me to not be that interested here, and they're pretty cheap. So Eric Haas, over a 4 rating in the bomb detector. Javi Baez, a 4 rating in the bomb detector. Robbie Grossman leading off, pretty solid rating. 150 WRC plus against lefties since the beginning of last year. 3.9 on the bomb detector. It's just a really solid spot through and through here. So I'm in on Tiger stacks. I am. Obviously, I'm in on Blue Jay stacks as well. I'm probably not going to pitch either pitcher. You could still carve a case for Kikuchi, but the underlying metrics are just not fun. A 4.59 xFIP. We talked about that expected ERA, that whip, that barrel rate. If the field's going to be there and at an exorbitant number, I don't really want it. No, sir. Not for me. Gunn says he still was a top MLB player. Yes, Mike Trout is still a top MLB player. He's going to, from what I understand, he's going to manage the back injury. He's probably still going to be killing it, bro. Especially now that he knows what he has and he can treat it. I don't know, man. Torque is in AAA. All right. He's injured too much to be a number 1 MLB player. That was never the argument. Never celebrating injuries. No, you're literally celebrating injury. What? You just came here talking about he's out for the year. What? This isn't like a sprained ankle. This is a degenerative disease. Like, he can't control it, dog. Like, what? Otani's at 62% owned. Dang. That tends to happen. Him and Zach Wheeler would probably be my 2 highest. Some of these slates, I'll just eat ownership and be different elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that Tigers become chalk, but Otani in a Tiger stack. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna offset a lot of the ownership as well. By the way, Blue Jays. I just kind of shrugged it off since we all know we're gonna play him. I mean, this is Tyler Alexander against all righties. God bless you, kid. 5.13 xFIP, 13.6% K rate to righties, a 1.31 home run per 9, and on the road, his home run per 9 elevates to 2.5. You might have a bad day against this lineup, all righties. A lot of 200 ISO. So I'll tell you what, let's maybe look for a home run triangle on the Blue Jays while I skip this song. Vladdy, George Springer, and Teoscar. So Vladdy 3.87, Springer 3.91, and Teoscar 4.24. So those are 3 of the higher ratings on the bomb detector anyway. And then Matt Chapman feels like a really easy click. So I feel like you can get around a lot of these Blue Jays. Fantasy, total bases, stuff like that. Maybe first, you know what? And since I'm on the Tigers, let's do this. Let's do first inning over 1.5 hits. So Tigers, Blue Jays over 1.5 hits. First inning. Obviously, you could do your fee as well, and then we can correlate that. What's Grossman's at? Grossman is at. They just don't have Detroit on the board. Eric Haas is at half a run and RBI. I think I like him for a homer, so that's a solid bet. But 6.5 fantasy points also there in case he gets like an RBI double or just a double, right? Not. So let's put that in the mix. let's put it down towards like the leans, right? Eric Haas over 6.5 FPS. And then Javi at 6.5. Yes, please. Javier Baez over 6.5 FPS. I might have a pretty nice list today. I kind of like it so far. And then we'll switch it over to the Toronto side. And really just all of them. So I would say Vladdy usually doesn't steal base, and lo and behold, he stole a base. Was it yesterday? Against Wainwright? Like what? But usually I can just go for Vladdy 1.5 total bases instead of 9 fantasy points. For Springer, I can go both. And that's probably the two that I'm most intrigued with. So let's go Vladimir Guerrero over 1.5 TB. And then George Springer over 8.5 FPS. And then I don't mind the Blue Jays home run triangle, and that's going to involve these guys anyway, so it correlates positively. Glenn, have you seen the Jeter doc yet? Yes. I am watching that show religiously. They're going to drop episode 3 and 4. Is it tonight? I think it's tonight. Yeah, I love it, dude. The exclusive footage, the stories, man. Jeter's my guy. Just incredible stuff. It's that footage, especially like guys in that era, Michael Jordan the same. Like the cameras weren't like it is today, so just kind of see stuff you never seen before is rare and just special. I don't know. Blue Jays. We had Blue Jays. Yep. Tigers. Okay. I don't want to play Kikuchi right now. Did I miss the Bly Madrid analysis? No, but I'll go back. I know Bly killed it the last swing through, and he was pretty good in the minors. For the most part, I was on Zach Wheeler, but Madrid does have some pop. But it's just like one of the better pitchers in the league to pick on. 862 OPS overall in the minors, so we split that up against righties. As the Mets re-signed Wheeler, squad on. Oh, dude, that would have been sick. I don't think they could have afforded, but yeah. At least if they're healthy. I heard DeGrom kind of got beat up yesterday. 953 OPS against righties in the minors for Madrid with a 317 average. So the guy can hit. 6 bombs in 142 at bats. So like I'm not that happy or not that excited about today's matchup against Zach Wheeler, but certainly like if you were, I don't think like his minor league numbers tell us he can hit, and we've seen a little bit of it in his last swing through, you know. Favorite player, saw him hit the 3K hit against David Price, home run. Made his deployment easier. Let's go. Do like lefties in Pittsburgh. Okay, hey, Greg, that's a good way to get different, right? I'm sure Wheeler against lefties. He's got a high line drive rate, and I'm sure there's not going to be a ton of ownership on it. So yeah. And there's a lot of lefties. A lot. What about stacking against Ohtani? If he's 60% owned, yeah, I think you can do a little insurance hedge. Especially if you're going to be high on him. I haven't really dove into that matchup yet, but Ohtani's really, really good. So, like, if you're stacking against a ace-like pitcher, the only reason I would justify it is, one, in case he does have an implosion or he gets yanked after an inning, and then it's you know what I mean? You're gonna get just like extreme double leverage, but it's not something I could say, oh, this guy sucks, let's pick on him. No, it's not the case. But it's more of a game of chance, and we're playing ownerships and low ranges the outcomes, and you don't have to do much to be well overweight against the team against Ohtani today. Guardians at the Red Sox, Steven Kwan, Ahmed Rosario, J-Ram, Josh Naylor, Andres Jimenez batting 5th. Franmil Reyes batting 6th. Nolan Jones every day popping in the bomb detector, and he's just been coming through lately. Miles Straw. Tristan McKenzie's pitching, and like McKenzie I think is a good pitcher, but in the context of this slate, he's the number 2 price pitcher on DraftKings, and I just thought that kind of tickled me last night. Bogarts, JD Martinez, Vasquez, Franchi Cordero, Bobby Dalbec, Jackie Bradley, and Jeter Downs, literally named after Derek Jeter. Matter of fact, there's 2 players in the league named after the Yankees. Jeter Downs was named after Derek Jeter, and O'Neal Cruz was named after Paul O'Neill. What? Right? Just pretty cool. Let me skip that one. Guardians have an implied run total of 4.7 runs, 4.5 on the Red Sox here. So McKenzie's cleaned up a little bit of his home run problem, but not a lot. And his strikeouts have kind of gone down against righties this season. That's kind of what we've looked for in the last 2 seasons for him. It's like, all right, we're going to deal with the strikeout problem or the home run problem, but his strikeout numbers are there. They haven't been there, but they probably should start developing sooner or later. He still has an 11.5% swing and strike rate and still striking out lefties at a decent clip, almost 30%. But that righty number definitely is something that's alarming, a 4.41 xFIP. Guys like Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez, guys to keep an eye on. And we are getting to hug watch season, so Red Sox have been through the ringer lately. Have heard JD Martinez's name thrown around in a couple trade rumors, so keep an eye on some scratches today and the next couple days, right? Benintendi playing my Royals. Oh, you should be happy for him. Although I have a friend that's a Royals fan. He felt low-key offended that Benintendi would get a vaccination, you know, with a contending team, but wouldn't do it with the Royals. So basically say F the Royals, right? But, yeah. Gun was named after an old rifle from his great-great-grandfather. Maybe. But my great-great-grandfather's last name was Gundecker, too. That's always a fun fact. It's like once a month people ask me, what do I use the name Gundecker? And I'm like, well, I was born, and that's what they gave me. It's an actual name. I think I'm more on offenses here, but Cutter Crawford's not bad. At 6.1K, I actually have him in season long. I just don't know what we might expect from a pitch count. 77 on the 23rd. So maybe 70, 80, maybe 90 pitches. Been able to get through 5 or 6. I do think at 6K, you know, I can live with 10 fantasy points. Some days. I don't like to pick on the Guardians, though, because they don't tend to give me a lot of strikeout hope. But maybe on a live bet, maybe on PrizePicks, if you can get like the second or third inning, this little lane of Jimenez, Reyes, Nolan Jones, and Luke Malley, they give you an aggregate of over 1 in 4K rate. So if you can get a 1 or a half, 1.5 strikeout, I would like half or 1. But maybe I'd be patient on that. The rest of this lineup does not really strike out that much, so I'm not that enthralled with it. But Cutter Crawford can get you some strikeouts, and against lefties, he has a 31% K rate. So does throw the cutter, in case you're wondering. Can you explain one more time what exposures and randomness you would recommend for tonight? So just generally speaking, I do 100. So I don't know, fantasy. I have Fantasy Cruncher Pro, which does a little extra. Let me open it up for you. Whit said the same thing. Said we get vaccinated if we went to a contender, right? It just kind of, you just gave up at the beginning of the season. At that point, you're like, "Oh, we're not going to be a contender." From the Royals to the Yankees. Oh man. But I mean, when that happened, that pretty much told me we're out on the Soto sweepstakes. So for randomness, I would probably go. If I wasn't using FC Pro, and this is something I learned from Alex. There's actually a video on the Stochastic channel about some of his preferred settings, but I use the pro randomness most parts. But if you if you don't have the pro, just 125% is a fun number. And yeah, I learned from Alex, you can do over 100%. It makes sense. As far as exposures, so exposures would be a mix between your gut and what makes sense relative to the field. So like when I tier 1 player, so in my tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, this usually means I have the most exposure to these guys, exposure to these guys, the least exposure to these guys, but I still have exposure. I would probably guess on this slate I could be somewhere between 40-50% on guys like Wheeler, Ohtani, stuff like that. But generally on a more spread out slate, a lot of those decisions are more so relative to the field, right? Because it means more in that perspective. So let's say I don't know, let's say Kikuchi is like 30% owned, and I don't want none of it. So that's a bad example. But let's say I did want some, and I didn't look, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'm cool to have 15% Kikuchi, blah blah blah. And then I look over and he's 30% owned. I'm like, well, I don't want to match the field on that. I don't want to be that involved. And then does my 10-15% matter as much if he's this high owned? Blah 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 blah. So the exposures, I can't really tell you what you should run. That is just part of developing your skill and your style of play. But I would recommend listening in on really it's just the stochastic stuff. They tell a lot. They talk a whole lot of ownerships in their analysis. I do a little bit more of the just matchup and stuff like that. I don't even look at ownerships until I'm done creating my player pool. And then we'll start making those decisions. But as far as randomness, I think 125 is fine for baseball. Don't use 125 for like other sports. It's strictly to kind of encapsulate and attack the massive variance that baseball gives us. Hopefully that helps. Willie says, Gunn, looks like your hero Joey Gallo will be kicked out of New York. My hero? Yeah, he's gone. Whether or not it's a trade or DFA, but he's gone, man. It sucks. The other night, though, I was hoping when they had Ottavino on the bump. He was 30 pitches into a stressful inning. Isaiah Falefa's bat was due up. And Falefa had like 2 hits already. And they took him out for Joey Gallo. And that made them bring in Edwin Diaz. And Edwin Diaz has like one of the highest K rates of all time this season. It's like 52%. And Gallo's like the highest strikeout guy. And I was like, this is so bad. Why would we do this? And I was hoping that would be his last at-bat in a Yankee uniform. But it is not. And I think some of it might just be because Stanton's down for a couple weeks. But, man, what a bad decision. Tizzle says, I'm literally upset Benny's in pinstripes. Red Sox fandoms. Oh, I forgot that you guys... I didn't forget, but yeah, you guys don't have Benintendi, and now he gets to whoop y'all in Fenway in Yankees, man. Little Johnny Damon 2.0 for the boys. Love it. Edwin Diaz is a death sentence. Yeah, man, good for Electric Eddie D, man. When he first came over, it was a little bumpy, wasn't it? So any of you guys want to play McKenzie? I think right now I'm probably gonna stay away. But I guess, I don't know, I guess if there's a world where he gets 20. But, man, 10K is just a lot. 15, 43, 20, 32. Positive range of outcomes. But 43 against the Tigers. Yeah, the Tigers suck. 32 against the Yankees. I lagged. I don't know what just happened here. I guess we'll get to a little McKenzie. But it'll be tier 3. Tier 3 for me for now. And then I think we stack both teams here. Usually I substack Guardians, but they are starting to get a little bit deeper because I do like the addition of Nolan Jones, Franmil Reyes being in the mix. So we're starting to get a little lane of ISO. J-Ram, Naylor, and Menace to an extent, but not so much. Franmil Reyes, Nolan Jones. So a team that I typically have 3-man stacked or substacked, I do think I can stretch that a little bit more. So I'll get to both sides here. A little bit, right? Guardians, and then Red Sox are in the mix as well. Red Sox are not as fun without Rafi Devers, but you can give me some Verdugo. And like I said, McKenzie has a big home run problem, and Fenway can kind of dip into that. So I'm in on that. Bobby Dalbec hit 2 bombs yesterday, 207 ISO. And normally against McKenzie, I'm worried about strikeouts, but like I said, this year he's been struggling to put away righties. So maybe we neutralize that 30% K rate. What do we got? What are the props telling us on McKenzie? They're giving us 5.5 Ks. And what about Cutter? Cutter Crawford, 4 Ks. All right, I think both of that's pretty fair. Pretty fair. Fresh from the Dominican. What up, Shark? Hope you're doing all right. I'm glad you had a safe travel. How's the weather down there, man? Dominican, that's closer to the equator. What the freak? Than we are, ain't it? That sounds like hell. Damon was also a Royal. Oh yeah, he was. the Royals are just like awkwardly in the mix on that stuff. Was Ellsbury? Ellsbury wasn't a Royal, right? Was he? Let me see. Jacoby. I try to forget the Jacoby Ellsbury era. Let's see. No, it was just Boston and New York. Wow. Isn't that a fun career to be just Red Sox and Yankees? I just hope Benny doesn't turn into an injury-prone Ellsbury. So I don't think Benny's long for this stretch. We'll see. Like, I'm sure I'd be fine with it, but if it's just a rental, it's a rental. Ellsbury was an investment that flopped. Jays and Dodgers stack lineups, horrific conglomeration of chalk. Oof. Oof. I love that. I love that sentence. Thought about all the good right-handed bats versus lefties tonight. Is it thoughts or thought? Yeah. That's fine with me. Steve Balbone. Oh, man. We're throwing some old names out here. All right. Let's move on to the next game real quick. Real quick like. We got Mariners and the Astros. Astros losing a series to the Athletics. Man, everybody want to come at the Yankees for this last 15-game slump, but Astros just got beat up by the Athletics. Red Sox are getting smacked around. Dodgers are looking average. I just think it's dog days of summer. Weird things are happening. Astros lineup is Altuve, Yuli Gurriel batting second, by the way. Jordan, Breggy, Kyle Tucker, Jeremy Pena not batting second, by the way. Chas McCormick, Jake Myers, and Martin Maldonado. Don't have a confirmed Mariners lineup yet. Urquidy taking on Logan Gilbert. Gilbert, 4.12 expected ERA, 23.4% K rate. Outperforming or overperforming his underlying metrics with his actual ERA. However, not like it's the worst underlying metrics, but I probably don't pitch against the Astros. But on the live line, if you got Gilbert sitting at like half or one strikeout during the second or third inning, the bottom four of this lineup can give you some strikeouts. 26, 30%, 29%, 31% K rate against righties in the bottom four. So maybe something to jot down if you're live sweating the PrizePicks live bets. As far as stacking, Altuve, Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker, always going to be a fun pairing. Yuli Gurriel being up here. I don't know if Dusty's just trying to wake his bat up. 4.15 on the bond detector for Jordan Alvarez against Logan Gilbert. Kind of funny because Gilbert's home run per night to lefties is only 0.5, but much like the batted ball data from the earlier pitcher suggests regression, it's not like Logan Gilbert's got like a 50% ground ball rate to lefties, right? It's like just 36.7% ground ball rate to lefties. So keeping the ball in the air. If you're gonna let Jordan Alvarez put the ball in the air, bad things happen to good people. Same with Kyle Tucker. So yeah, we're gonna get to some Astros bats, and then probably not going to stack Mariners, but Julio Rodriguez, Ty France, Suarez, Winker, all those guys as one-offs make sense. Urquidy has a 18% K rate on the season, 1.23 whip, 4.79 expected ERA, and then the Astros bullpen is really solid. So I think Urquidy is very beatable. These numbers are not good, but the bullpen can come in and kind of tighten things up. So I'm a little less enthralled with their upside. 4 is their implied run total. I'd definitely be cherry picking. Maybe this is a sub-stack spot for me, right? I can grab 2 or 3 of these guys and feel a lot better than grabbing 5. So that's how I'll play that. Neither pitcher really tugging at me. If Logan Gilbert was a little cheaper, I might take a chance or two, but 9,500 Gilbert with a 23% K rate and a 4.12 expected ERA against this Astros lineup is he's got to do a lot to be optimal, right? Especially thinking about who's cheaper than him and who's right where he's at. So probably not there, Let's see. Charlie Mirage, David Cone. Dude, David Cone was everywhere, man. I like, as a Yankee fan, I always just like warmly remember him, as a Yankee. Obviously, he was with the Mets. He was with the Blue Jays. Blue Jays had a weird squad for a while in the early 90s. I want to say weird. Weird in a good way. Like, they had some names, bro. And you just kind of forget that those teams existed because they didn't really win the World Series. They might have won the year that the strike happened, but yeah, funny, right? Tizzle says, my boy is an Astros fan, said the A's always give the Astros issues. It's always the teams you sleep on, right? Singer's going to surprise people tonight. Chris, I actually think Singer is playable in deep field tournaments. I actually listed him in my bottom tier. Like, I'm going to have some exposure to him. Obviously, I'm going to have more Yankee stacks than Singer exposure. But I could see Singer, being a little bit scrappy in this spot. Especially when the Yankees just kind of slugging through the dog days here. Danny Tartable, let's go. Charlie Mirage says, I don't know if you would be able to answer this or not, but when in Fantasy Cruncher and I'm running 150 in Minimax and I have my 5-man stacks and 3-man stacks, should I do 105 3-man stacks and 55 2-1s? Again, that's there's not really a rule of thumb, right? Everyone has their own play style. I tend to just do all 5-mans, 5 3s, or 5 and let it rip. But there's not a black and white blueprint, man. Whatever you think is better, and whatever your feel for the slate is, not to cop it out. And there's some slates where I just don't know if I'm running 5-mans, right? And I tend to end up more like 4-4s and stuff like that. It's just, you just gotta kind of find yourself a groove, and then find yourself a comfort zone. What I would also recommend is, since you have Fantasy Cruncher, take advantage of the lineup rewind, right? Look back at past slates and look at guys that you respect and look up to, or that you see winning, right? Adam's up there a lot. Alex is up there. There's a lot of hitters up there, and you could study their lineups and what they're doing. And I think for the most part, 5-3 is just what everyone does on the efficiency level. But I don't think there's you must do this or you must do that. I do think 5, starting with a 5-man stack and then going from there, is something I would recommend. But that's also for like the bigger the slate. I think the bigger the slate, the more likely a 5-man stack is optimal, and the smaller the slate, the more likely you're not going to have 5 guys from a team give you double digits. So it's kind of a cop-out answer, Charlie, but I also believe that answer is correct. But I 105 3s and 55 2-1s. I wouldn't worry about the ones. Like, the ones is whatever. So if you were just trying to differentiate a little bit, you could probably do 105 3s and then maybe 54 4s or something like that. But there's really no right or wrong way. I think you're in a good start, though, with having the 5-man as your base. David Cone will be cheerleading for the Royals again tonight. So sick of Coney getting paid by the Yankees and then subverting to them over the microphone. Dude, I love David Cone. The Yes Network and crew, I love it, man. I love Michael Kay, Paul O'Neill, David Cone. That's my favorite 3. But when Carlos Beltran is iffy for me. But Cameron Maben, I love listening to Cameron Maben, bro. He's smooth with it. But I love Coney. I like some unbiasedness. And then just a guy like Coney's so smart and sharp with just a mind for the game. I feel like I'm learning when I listen to him, Urquidy is a good play. Oh my God, Sean V. Urquidy is a good play. At 8,300, if you could say if he gets to 16 fantasy points, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility here, but I don't really have a reason to say he's a good play. The strikeout rates are kind of matchup's kind of rough. It's an above average team in WRC plus. Julio Rodriguez is a problem. Shark. Shark, I missed your. What'd you say about it? It said beautiful weather, 85 90s with random 15-minute showers 3 times a day. Dude, what I would give for rain right now, bro. And where I'm at, man, we're on such a drought. The other day, I'm not making this up, but you guys might have read about it. It was closer to DFW. A bunch of houses burned down because of a pop-up brush fire that was caused by a lawnmower spark. It's that bad down here, man. Gun, what's your top tier 1 prize picks lock for tonight? Just one sort of a gunny Thursday dessert. I'm working on a list so far. The ones that I was higher on was Schwarber over 7.5 fantasy points going against a contact pitcher. I like the Tigers and Blue Jays over 1.5 hits. I think the Tigers are very scrappy against lefties. You say Kikuchi sucks, and then the Blue Jays are in a great spot. So that's probably like my favorite right there. Is Tigers and Blue Jays over 1.5 hits. You could also maybe take a shot on a Yurfie. So I'll give you that one. Tigers and Blue Jays over 1.5 hits, first inning. Back to this unreal, oppressive Texas weather. Literally insane heat in Dallas. I can't imagine living. Yeah, man, it's tough out here, dude. This heat every summer, man. I'm just like, this might be my last summer in Texas, man. I told you guys last week. I'm somewhere thinking about Tennessee, man. What up, AOD? Hope you're doing all right. Beltran's not the best announcer. He just says common sense things. Yeah. What was that? Was that fire on your road near your house? I have had some fires near me lately, but thankfully, not that close. If you had to play one tonight, Rodriguez, Schwarber, Freeman, Betts, or Vladdy. I would imagine Freeman, Betts, and Vladdy all come with ridiculous ownership, so I might opt for Schwarber there, but all those guys are just great plays. I mean, we're literally coin flipping there. Betts leading off in Coors, yeah. Off topic, do y'all remember when the guy dressed up as Troy Polamalu and tried to practice during training camp? Oh, man. That's a random. That's random. All right, let's get that Coors game typed in, man. By the way, if you guys missed the earlier Mr. Ross weather report, Cleveland and Boston does have a little bit of weather concern, so kind of asterisk that. Come back later for an update. And then there's a little bit of weather in Coors, but there's always weather in Coors, so nothing to worry about. Rockies lineup is confirmed. Connor Joe, where did you come from? Where did you go? Jose, I can be your hero, baby. Iglesias. Chris Bryant batting third. CJ Crone in the cleanup spot. Brendan Rodgers. Randall Grichuk. Hello, I am Elias. Elias Diaz, Ryan McMahon, and Jonathan Daza. That is your Rockies lineup. No Charlie Hustle, Chuck Nasty against Tyler Anderson, former Rocky great. Dodgers have an implied run total of 7.3. That's easily the highest I've seen this season, potentially ever. That's hard to turn away from. That's going to represent a lot of ownership, a lot of people getting there, and it is what it is. So Dodgers, add them to the stack list. Rockies also on the stack list, a little less, but also. And there's no analysis needed, man. Dodgers is just in a massive spot. Play them. Rockies, Coors. Tyler Anderson's got some history, right? He knows how to pitch in Coors. This season, 3.04 expected ERA. But he does have an over 4 xFIP to righties, and this is a really righty-heavy lineup for the Rockies today. And even though he has a 0.75 homer per nine this season, that's not really backed up by an elite ground ball rate or nothing. The hard contact rate is really good, but you can see that coming up a little bit. So, Rocky stack, Dodger stack. I'm not going to spend too much time telling us to stack Coors. Is there a world where 9.1K Tyler Anderson is usable or optimal? Potentially, but I probably am not going to walk that dangerously, right? Probably not. Let's get caught up on chat. Chalk, Donkey, Dodgers, complete bust. They could. Brian says, I dated a girl from Dallas a few years back. She was fine, but way too hot. Okay. She was wifey material, right? But it was too hot. Couldn't do it. So now I'm out here banging strippers. Whatever you say. Cy Howard income, you think so? Maybe. See, I only got 2 games left on the docket. I got to tell you guys about our presenting sponsor, PrizePicks.com. We've been going game by game here, trying to find a couple plays to throw together in our PrizePicks cards tonight. If you sign up for PrizePicks using code GUNDACKER, they will double your first deposit up to $100. So $20, $40 a play, and they offer more than just baseball. They have MLB live betting. They have WNBA, tennis, CSGO, League of Legends, KBO. They've got the basketball tournament, F1, trucks, MMA, Xfinity, NASCAR, disc golf. My boy Eric has been in our free Discord. Link to that's in the description below. And he's been grinding disc golf here, and I got a friend that I play Fortnite with that's into disc golf. So I keep hearing it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. So we'll see what it does. But man, sign up for PrizePicks. Use my code. If you do, let me know. And then also want to let you guys know about a promo we're doing at RunDFS.com in celebration of my new favorite Yankee, right? Andrew Benintendi. For now until I think July 1st, the rest of the year pass is $300 to begin with, which is nuts because it gives you the rest of baseball, NFL, most of the NFL season up until January 1, the first month or so of basketball, and comes with a built-in $100 credit to Fantasy Cruncher, so you're rebated down to $200. If you use code BENNY, BENNY, you're gonna get $20 off. So all kinds of savings on that. So BENNY, save $20 on that end of year pass, get the rest of baseball, and on top of the access to the spreadsheets, NFL, NBA projections, my player pool, my PrizePicks, all that good stuff. You also get access to the RunDFS.com VIP Discord, and daily, I'm in the voice chat before locks. The only day I tend to take off, if I can help it, is Sunday. And then for football, we'll have pre-lock voice chats and night before study sessions. And for basketball, pre-lock voice chats. We grind it. We grind it. So go take advantage of that. I think it's a pretty cool way to sports stream, sports channel, get something in return. And you get $100 credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. So it's already like you're saving $100. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. I want to be battered in fish and chips. What the freak am I reading? Are we on Wheeler 6.5 over? That's a lean. That's not a lock. It's a lean. All right, Rangers at the Angels. Spencer Howard taking on Shohei Ohtani. Spencer Howard has a 1.8 whip, 6.54 expected ERA. Two things that are not what you want. A 17.5% K rate, 12.6% barrel rate. Not good. Angels also not really good. Only Luis Rengifo, a sub 19% K rate. The rest of the team is nuts with it. So this is unstoppable force, immovable object. Which side sucks more? And we've seen some big games from randos against this Angels lineup. So I got to believe, and I tend to lean with this philosophy that bad hitting beats bad pitching. So if I had to lean one way, I'm going the Angels way. But am I surprised if 5.2K Spencer Howard gives us 10? No. But the swing and strike rate being what it is, I just got to imagine that these major league bats win that battle. So I'm going to lean more so the Angels side here. And then Spencer Howard, a 1.7 homer per night against lefties. Mr. Ohtani at the top of the bomb detector. Yeah, we can't play him in DFS, but I do believe we can play him on PrizePicks. They have him at 9 fantasy points as a hitter. I know that's elevated, just generally speaking, but if you hit a home run, you're going to clear that. So there might be something we get behind over there on PrizePicks. So might. Let's lean. Let's jot it down. Shohei Ohtani over 9.5 FPS. Right. Let's roll with it. And I guess we could justify Angel stacks against this guy, but man, is it hard. Ohtani, Ward, Walsh. I guess Rengifo is just there, so he could scoop up fantasy points. I hate that he's there, but he's there. But Walsh, Ohtani, Ward, and I guess Brandon Marsh. Ward and Ohtani both have 4+ ratings in the bomb detector, and yeah, not really there or interested in stacking against Ohtani, but I do think Semien, Seager, Adolis Garcia, Jonah Hyde. We talked about the merit in stacking against Ohtani just because he's going to be like the highest player on the planet tonight, right? 50-60% is a realistic projection on that. 8,900. I don't know what the algorithm, what the automated process is. It feels like there's not a human being approving these prices some days, but Shohei Ohtani under 10K is a crime against humanity. So I expect him to be massively owned, and it's just a price point where if you drop 16, like that's serviceable, right? Let's see, 20 against Atlanta, 35, 36, 35. Yeah, it's just is too cheap. So we got to throw Ohtani in the blender, and because of the price, he's probably going to be tied with Wheeler for me as a tier 1. So far, I don't have any tier 2s, but what can you do? So I would say if we think the field is going to be there at 50-60%, or even if your own personal lineups are there at 50-60%, you probably get to like 2 to 4% Rangers just in case that all hell broke out loose type of game happened. And I think Semien, Seager, Heim, Garcia, all those guys are serviceable fantasy players. So yeah, I'll probably stack just because there's a little bit of leverage built in, but it's not a matchup based decision. Don't sleep, Gunny. Spencer Howard birthday? Come on, boy. Stop it. Get some help. 100 of you guys hanging out. 38 likes, man. Can we get to 60 likes? 60 likes. 6-0. That would be lit. One more game on the docket, then we'll go back. We'll update some items. We'll look at the bomb detector, all that good stuff. And then I'll get you guys out of here. Cubs 3.8 run total. Giants 4.4. Justin Steele taking on Alex Wood. Battle of the Southpaws. Is there a team that faces more lefties than the Giants, guys? Like, honestly, I feel like every week, 3 times a week, I'm talking about my Cinderella stack against lefties. Slater, Flores, Ruff, Yerman, Mercedes. It just feels like they're always facing left-handed pitching, man. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's in my head, but man. I should just record the analysis. I like all these guys against lefties, but the platoon risk does exist once the initial lefty comes out, and then Gabe Kapler can make some swaps and so on and so forth. But Slater, Flores, Ruff, Mercedes, all guys I can get behind. Tyro Estrada, former Yankee great, I'm there on that. David VR, he's got some power. He had big power in the minors, and he's showing that so far in the majors as well. So I can get to some Giants. It's going to be a little bit risky, and like I say, if you're going to stack the Giants, man, just stack the Giants, drop them on the table, and do your stacks. And we might only be able to imply them for 2.5 at bats, something like that, versus 4.5 in some other spots. But a home run is value, and that's why we're playing them. But I also don't get to an egregious amount of Giant stacks because of that reason. So hopefully the field isn't there that crazy either. Justin Steele, big ground ball guy, both sides of the plate. Doesn't give up a lot of power anyway. So when we get to the Giants, we're probably going to keep it less than 6%, probably less than 4%, but we'll see. Alex Wood on the bump for the Giants. 1.25 on the whip, 3.68 expected ERA, 24% K rate, swing and strike rate, pushing 11%. Decent numbers there. The Cubs will strike out. This particular projected lineup against lefties has 3 hitters with a sub 20% K rate against lefties, and these guys get really low. Horner and Suzuki and Schwindel, 17% or less. Now, Schwindel's not a lock to be an everyday player, and this lineup isn't confirmed, so we'll wait for the official one. But at 7,500, I think Alex Wood has playable qualities today. So I will put him in my tier 3. Let me double check to make sure a pitch count is usable. 97 on the 23rd against the Dodgers, and he survived. So yeah, I really think we might get a strong floor with a little bit of a strikeout ceiling, 6, 7, 8. What's the strikeout number on him? I'm gonna guess 5.5 just to make it bettable. It's at 6. Oof. I mean that's the same, but you just have a push built in. It's also at 6 on underdog. That's probably appropriate, but I might take the 6, and if it pushes, it pushes. All right. So let's put that Alex Wood over 6 Ks. But can I get into like fantasy points? 28.5 fantasy points. Now that seems more interesting. How often are we getting into the 6th inning with Mr. Wood? 4, not often. 4.2, 7, 5. So maybe it's not as Dodgers. I'll give him some credit. Milwaukee, nah, should have got there. The fantasy, I'll say the fantasy score is kind of tempting, but I would want to believe in the 6th inning a little bit more. Just grab those quality start points. 2 Ernies, man, they're projecting really well. 16.5 outs. So that would be 5 2/3. That's a lean. I don't have a lot of conviction in that call. but the fantasy is kind of interesting. But I will play him for DraftKings efficiency scoring SP2. Justin Steele, probably going to be a no for me. Strikes out lefties at a good clip, but likely not to see a lot of lefties. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. What am I reading? My coworker is an enormous Dodgers fan and always tells me how Coors give them problems. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh man, easy fellas. Yeah, Sean V losing credibility. Man, I don't know if someone has less credibility. Sean V. Still love him though. All right, we got a couple of updated lineups to tend to. We'll get those punched in, then we'll look at the bomb detector. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, names, feelings in your guts, share them with me, man. I want to read it. Let me read some hot takes. Mariners lineup did come out, right? Yep. Julio, Ty France, Carlos Santana, Eugenio Suarez, J.P. Crawford, batting fifth. Kyle Riley, Jesse Wanka, Adam Frazier, Willem Major. Boom. Speaking of Frazier, no one ever picked up Clint Frazier, huh? He just straight up got DFA'd by the Cubs. No one else got him, huh? I don't know why that just like hit my head. I can't even pull up his card. What the heck? Frazier. Clint Frazier, MLB. Oh, he changed his name to Jackson Frazier. Okay. What a weird guy. What a weird guy. I don't know why it's just, I'm curious now. No one. Huh. Nobody. That was it. No other lineups came out, so that was done. Willie says, gone. Phil Niekro was the greatest knuckleballer pitcher of all time, throwing 2 no-hitters, clocked at 41 RPMs, which is not even one complete ball rotation. Yeah, who's else knuckleballers? R.A. Dickey, obviously. Dude from the Red Sox that Aaron Boone took deep. Where's Tizzle? Who's that? I can't think of his name right now. Which of these second base prospects will be the best by 2030? Glaber, Gavin Lux, or Biggio? 2030? I feel like they'll all be old by then. I mean, I'd probably say Glaber, Gavin Lux. I don't know. They're all good. I don't know what I'm reading. Tim Wakefield. You're right. There it is. Does he like catch up on his eggs? Yo, I do. I think I told you guys. One of my meals that I make a lot in the summer, and I'll probably make for dinner, since I'm a bachelor right now, and I don't have someone to cook for me, I make a lot of rice, eggs, and throw ketchup on it, bro. I know that's weird, but that's just me, bro. That's just me. Bomb detector. We got Nolan Jones at the tippy top. Nelson Velasquez up there. Jose Ramirez. Shohei Ohtani. Teoscar. We actually got some action up here. Chris Bryant. Nick Pratto. Freddie Freeman. Yordan Alvarez. Max Muncy. Taylor Ward. Eric Haas. Matt Chapman. Wisdom. Naylor. Schwab. Pascatino. Javi Baez. Look at that. This is fun. I like all those. There's not really a ton of low sample size guys. There are some that it's not like great sample size, but I'm okay with this list today. Wakefield, man. Aaron Boone taking Wakefield deep. Oh, one of the best moments. One of the best moments. Rice, eggs, and sriracha. I don't think I've ever had sriracha. Like, I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever had it. Drink water, everyone. I got a glass of Kool-Aid in a Dr. Pepper cup. Dr. Pepper invented here in Waco, Texas. Chad, you guys got anything? I'll get you out of here. Still trying to get 60 likes, though. We need 8 more of those. What are we looking forward to tomorrow? Also, I will post my finished list of favorite props for PrizePicks in the free Discord, free 99. Link to that's in the description below. Shout out to some of you guys that have popped in today. Hollow 050, Ariel, Beansy, I am Nezzy. Shout out to you guys. And like I said, my boy Eric out here grinding disc golf. So shout out to Eric for grinding that. If you guys want to sweat something that you don't know nothing about, like me, grab some disc golf, grab some League of Legends, some esports, stuff like that. The Dodgers lineup came out. All right, cool. Is Dr. Pepper a Texas thing? Well, it was invented in Waco. I know its reach is beyond Texas, but we actually have a Dr. Pepper museum here in Waco, and that's where I got this cup at. All right, we'll get the Dodgers punched in. Why not? I don't think it's anything different, but yeah. Mookie, Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Jake Lamb, Gavin Lux, batting 6th. Max Muncy, that funky Muncy, and then McKinstry. Is that Zach McKinstry? Was he on the Yankees? I feel like he was on the Yankees. Maybe it was the Blue Jays. Maybe it was both. McKinstry. My mind. McKinstry. No, it wasn't. Who am I thinking of? We had McKinney. Billy McKinney is what I'm thinking. McKinstry is just a straight up Dodger. Okay. Eric be having that disc golf heat. Dude, Eric, I love Eric. This lineup is awful. This lineup is awful against Jose Urena. And his $1.25 a home run per 9, 333 average allowed. This lineup, I don't know about that one. I shot the clerk. Chat, twitter.com/Gundecker. Hey, I'll be back tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're going to start a little bit sooner since it's typically a big Friday slate. Let's see what we're working with tomorrow. Do you like Hoskins' gun? Yeah. Betting second in a good spot. Reese Hoskins, I have him at... he's got a 3.71 rating in the bottom sector. Not like fantastic, but Zach Thompson striking out right is just 14%, 1.7 home run per 9. Definitely will allow you to put the ball in play. So Hoskins betting second in that spot. I wouldn't mind pairing him to Kyle Schwarber too. Tomorrow. Mets, Marlins, I probably won't catch the main. Neither was that. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 game slate. So we'll probably try and start at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Get on 30 minutes earlier. Do some work on tomorrow's slate. So hopefully you guys will catch around tomorrow. But yeah, Urena gave up 3 hits over 7 innings against a better Dodgers lineup. Oh my God, Sean! Who asked? It was like the luckiest game of all time. If it happens, it happens. But we can't be too results oriented, right? Trust the process. Play discipline. Dodgers, 4.5% swing and strike rate against the Dodgers that game. Batted ball data against the Dodgers in that game. A 5.8 xFIP, a 6.4 Sierra, 38% hard contact. His BABIP for that game was what? 238. We're looking at one of the luckiest games in the history of baseball, Sean. How many strikeouts did he have in that game? He had 2 strikeouts. Sean. I shot the clerk. Keep looking at your silly stat charts. My silly stat charts. God dang it, Sean. Don't do it. Don't do it to him. Chat, I love you guys. I appreciate you making part of my day, be part of your day. All I ask you, tell somebody out there you love them, because I love you. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.